The CDC does recommend an N95. However, those are very difficult to get our hands on, and a lot of times those are being price gouged.
Yeah, with this need, I had a nurse friend that was like, we're supposed to be using these disposable masks 3 times, for 3 days. I mean, they need them and they're going without them. Since March 26th till today, I have made about 600.
Hi, my name is Heather Pender, and I am the marketing coordinator with Your Kemp Home Team Realtors. And today we are highlighting Kelly here. We really appreciate her being here. And she is actually making DIY masks for the community. So we're here to show you what materials you need, how to do them yourself, and then where to contact her if you're looking to make one and get one from her as well. So Kelly, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, we're really happy to have you and excited to learn about what you can show us today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for taking the time. I know that it's been crazy. This whole situation has been crazy. So it feels like this huge shift for everyone. My name is Kelly Shaffer. I am actually a musician and artist by trade. I do a little interior residential painting as well. Kind of always been a freelance person because you never know what the world's going to bring. If you can believe it, I used to be a manager in banking. So, but when we started having the whole COVID-19 thing going on, we can't play shows. I can't paint people's houses. The need for masks was crazy, ridiculous. So, I mean, I would like to say that, it's this big glorified thing, but really it was an opportunity for my husband and I to work and take care of our family. Yeah, with this need, I had a nurse friend that was like, we're supposed to be using these disposable masks 3 times, for 3 days. I mean, they need them and they're going without them. So when it came to choosing a mask, it was just, what is it going to do? There's a million different kinds that you can choose from. We chose, my husband and I chose a specific design based off of what we thought was going to be the easiest on people who were wearing them for long periods of time. As you noticed, a lot of those frontline workers nurses are wearing headbands that have buttons on the side of them so they can wrap the elastic around them. Some people want the elastic. As far as what we chose, it's a 2-layer mask, and I think CDC recommends 3 layers. But with mine, it has a little pocket on the inside so that you can add extra layers. What I've encouraged customers the most is, since there are so many different pieces that you can buy, don't rely on the person making them to make sure that you get the product that you want. There's if they don't want their glasses to stick up, if you need extra layers.
I'm glad that you've been able to serve the community, your family as well. That means a lot to us. And I really appreciate what you're doing. We're happy to have you here. So again, one disclaimer to all of our clients and viewers out there. The CDC does recommend an N95. However, those are very difficult to get our hands on. And a lot of times those are being price gouged, through the roof. And so this is a good alternate option. And as Kelly mentioned, she said that we should have 3 layers, and she does have an option in there to add that 3rd layer. Again, we do want to follow the CDC guidelines. So let's go ahead and go over some of the materials that it takes to make these masks.
You really want to be able to use, and a lot of times too, I think some people have used like bandanas. Just be really aware of what type of material it is that you're using, because it takes that tightly woven product to be able to keep a lot of that away. I think I saw a video of some guy like doing a power spray through masks, and you could see what actually is coming through. So, and researching the product and looking at those fabrics, and especially for protecting pieces, you always want to look at that. It's 100% cotton is what is recommended to use if you can't get a hold of anything. Now, when they talk about the N95, that means that 95% of the particles that are coming through your mask are being blocked out. There's still that small percentage. I think masks like these drop it down to like 40 to 60%. Don't quote me on that, but again, it's better than nothing. And it's certainly keeping the people who maybe aren't showing symptoms, those asymptomatic people, aren't showing those germs with everybody else. So it's more of just like a courtesy, like a cover your mouth when you sneeze kind of situation. It's a little hard to get in and out of stores these days, and it's not like Joann's is closed. So it's all curbside I've used recycled t-shirts. So if you have a t-shirt that you want to use, and then the same with that too, I ended up getting some of those N95 like flat filters that you can fit in there. And if you can get a hold of those are super helpful. If not, just another tightly woven piece of fabric. Again, I mentioned the elastic. When I started making these, you couldn't get elastic anywhere. So I ended up using t-shirt material, and then I made it out of t-shirt yarn and went ahead and threaded that. That way it goes over your head, onto your face, and ties around the back, which also alleviates that whole ear problem. This is just a basic, mask that is fitted around your face, just a little bit more of a, firmer design than maybe some of those pleated ones. But again, it's all personal preference.
All right, so looks like we can do this as easy as from our closet. So that's awesome to know, Kelly. I really appreciate you letting us
Yeah.
know that there's resources at home, because even though we do have the option for curbside pickup, sometimes it's not super easy to get out of the house, or sometimes we don't want to go out of the house. So
Right. Right.
um, sometimes that's not, our best option. So easy as going into your closet, finding an old t-shirt, and using the scrap material. And again, to emphasize 100% cotton material. If you want to do further research on that, feel free, but I think that's a great place to start. So what are the steps that you take to go ahead and start making your mask?
If you have a sewing machine, it's a lot easier, obviously, to be able to do that. If you want to learn, just a little hand stitch, you can get through it if you're just making something for yourself. Pick out a pattern. A lot of times you can just print them right off of the internet. I went to Pinterest, and you can also Google craftpassion.com, and that's the source that I use to print off my pattern. So once you get your pattern, you get your fabric, you cut that to size, and then there's 4 different pieces for this particular one. And so I'm going to turn it inside out so that you can kind of see. But for the front piece and for the back piece, you're going to have 2 pieces. So you have kind of 4 separate pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. That way, when you hem it together, you can have that little extra bit. Some of the masks don't have them that way. And if you just wanted to do 2 layers, or you're cool with doing, 3 layers and sewing it in, that's completely up to you. The breathability is, I think, the hindrance in trying to add those layers as the maker, because you want to give them the option. It just really depends on what you're using it for. I would say if you're making it yourself and you're just making one, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour for somebody who's well-versed in using a sewing machine. If you were to sew it by hand, it would probably take a little bit longer than that. But yeah, I don't know in detail without showing you the machine exactly which ways to show you, but I do know that you can check out that resource at craftpassion.com and get this just basic design. It has all of the instructions on there as well. There was one lady that used elastic. There's somebody who's used hair ties. So choose the tie that fits you best.
There's a lot of variations with it. So essentially, I think it's really customizable, which is awesome, because we all have different needs. A nurse versus someone like me who just needs to head to the grocery store and come home have very different needs. So I think it's great that there's a lot of different options with elastic or buttons or however you would like to make these. And I know that Kelly spends a lot of time researching a lot of her products and the materials she's using to make sure that these are going to be the best quality for you guys. So do you want to go ahead and give us, do like a little try on and kind of show us how it looks on?
So we have I'll strip one tragedy after the next lately. It's like the Australian brothers that came up, and I was making little pouches for baby kangaroos. So this was kind of the leftover material from them. But yeah, they just kind of, you can adjust them by pushing them up here. It goes over the top of your head. I don't know how well you can see behind me, but that's kind of how that is. You can hold it to your face like this, and then just kind of pull up on the straps and adjust it. And just tie it right in back. Now, there's a lot of different rules for cross-contamination and removal of masks, so don't quote me on that, okay? But here's the fit for this one. So it's nice because it keeps all of this, covered up. There's no real slack in between that. You can even tighten it tighter if you want to, but it's very adjustable. You can move this around. And I wear glasses, so there's kind of One lady asked me if they fogged up,
Yeah,
but
that is one of the concerns that I've seen a lot is that they will get fogged up, but it looks like yours is really effective in the sense that it is built to kind of squeeze in on the nose right there with the pattern that you have, so that way you can avoid that issue.
oh,
And that looks like it's very comfortable. You can tie it, it's customizable. I know a lot of times it's really difficult because me, for example, I have a smaller head, and
mhm.
sometimes I have to double loop just your typical surgical mask for it to feel comfortable and that I'm actually concealing my mouth. Everyone has different needs. So, and as for children as well, so that's always an option because these are completely customizable to yourself. Essentially, we're going to use a pattern, cut the pieces out of a pattern, and then you will take them to the sewing machine, or you can hand sew them together and then add in however you want to keep it on, whether that's elastic or buttons. But if you want to make it for a child, do you have any suggestions, maybe size wise, maybe measurements like inches? That would be
Sure.
a good size.
Your standard mask is going to be about 7 inches across on each piece. So if you measure from side to side, you can really adjust those sizes. On the link that I mentioned before on craftpassion.com, it actually has a pattern for a child as well. So you can print off the adult pattern and the child pattern. I have had a few people that needed bigger ones. So if you needed to go that route, checking those measurements and then just kind of tracing what you already have to size, we'll adjust that.
All right. Well, that sounds good. It sounds like this is super easy, and Kelly's working really hard to serve her community here. She's a great resource, and we're glad to have you here. So we are going to have all of her information down below. If you would like to order from her, I know that, how many have you had in the past couple of weeks? It's been crazy for you, right?
Yes. So since March 26th till today, I have made about 600 masks. So
Wow.
it's been, yes, it's been a little mask making factory.
That's awesome, though. I'm sure this is a great lesson for the kids as well. Families, for you guys at home, everyone is at home at this point in our area at least. Um,
Right.
and the good thing is, this is a good project. We talk about home ec, right?
Right. No kidding.
Anyways, is there anything else you wanted to add?
You're more than welcome to contact me on Facebook, which is facebook.com/artist for hire STL. And then you can just message me and we can get your purchase set up. You can pick from stuff that's already made or you can order custom pieces.
All right. Did you paint the wall behind you, actually?
I did. I'm in my studio right now. So
I'm glad that things are going well and, everyone is supporting you. Again, we just want to thank you. I know that there are so many out there who are really relying on people like you who are deciding to step up and being productive. And then you're supporting your family and teaching them great life lessons as well. So I just want to say thank you
oh,
so much.
my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your support.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And we will see you next time.